Hi, Sally Boy here. If you clicked on this video, that means that you want to know more about Stephanie and friends in another way than via reading the wiki page, which is fine. But still, don't hesitate to go check out her page for some time to time, because I do some arts and putting it into the gallery page of the series, for example. And I'm also pretty active on the Sonic Oddities wiki as well, so yeah. Anyways, for short, Stephanie and Friends is a series that will be done in the form of multiple comic dubs here on YouTube. We will follow the life of Stephanie and her friends after the events with the demon of suffering Zalkar, who arrived one day in the simulation. It is a now 2 years old project that I'm doing in my free time, and I enjoy making it for fun, as I'm someone who likes to do stuff for people to enjoy and talk about online as well. Originally, she was supposed to be the Sonic mix of Stanley from the analog horror series Super Mario Classified by Tetra Bones. It was supposed to be for a Sonic mix of the Friday Night Funkin' mod Mario's Madness V2. But since I got rejected as an artist for the game, as well as all the concept I had presented and done, she evolved to become her own thing, which I'm pretty proud of it, by the way. Anyways, without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, so we're gonna go through 3 parts in this video, which is 1. The main story, 2. The origins of Zalkar, the 6 demon siblings, and what are the beings of light, and last but not least, part 3, the extended universe. If you want it to be quick, to know the very base thing, I suggest you to stay only for part 1, and if you are interested and curious in staying for the 2 other parts, then that's neat. I recommend staying for part 2 as well, as it will give you more context on why the demon aka Zalkar is here in the story and who he is. So, let's start with the main story, y'all. Everything started in 2036, when a South Korean company named Boog & Kosh wanted to create a brand new show. This company wanted to create a super advanced Sonic-themed animated series for kids. The show would have been separated into 2 segments, an adventure segment, where the episode will be an adventure of Sonic and his friends, and an educational segment, where Sonic and his friends will educate the kids watching on diverse academics. Unfortunately, the company didn't receive the authorization from Sega to do so, so they decided to do a bootleg version of Sonic and its friends. They've basically created a large, advanced AI system who created zones and a whole environment similar to some famous Sonic zones from the games, but all or slightly or largely modified. After that, they managed to program multiple independent AIs to act as flickies in the diverse biomes zones. And then comes the biggest part. It was the creation of the main character, or mascot of this series. They've decided to name her Stephanie, and gave her a childlike appearance at first, aka her classic design. Stephanie would act as the Sonic of this universe. Then comes the creation of Stephanie's arch enemy. So they created Dr. Catherine to act as the counterpart of Dr. Eggman in this universe. The goal of Dr. Catherine in most adventure segments was to burn down Bright Hill Zone, aka this version's world of Green Hill Zone, and to steal all of the strawberries. The strawberries were like chili dogs of Sonic for Stephanie. They gave those 2 AIs characters actual personalities written in their codes, and they were able to act while the show wasn't aired live on TVs. The cartoon was basically working as such. One of the devs, creators, or multiple of them, wrote a scenario and they scanned it into the simulation's memory, and then the characters played the episode like some kind of theater drama. The show became so popular and ended up being the 3rd most watched show in the whole country. So, the creators wanted to bring some new, fresh stuff to the series and decided to update the simulation with new characters. This is where they've decided to update Stephanie to turn her into her normal form, we see now, and they've also added 2 new characters to the roster. The first one was a smart fox girl with a robotic arm named Tanya, who will be this world's version of Tails, and Lynn, a tough, stoic, and muscular blue rabbit girl who will be this world's version of Knuckles. Those 2 characters and this update on Stephanie make them even more popular, putting them on the spotlight as the most watched kids show in the whole South Korea. After some more time of running, the creators decided to add 1 more character to the roster of the main cast. She would have been a completely original character made from scratch, who isn't the counterparts to any normal Sonic character. Her name was Pandora. She was supposed to act as the mother character, the one that the kids found comfort in it, and also the history geography teacher of the educational segment. And it worked indeed. Unfortunately, after some times of running normally, something unusual happened. While the show wasn't airing, a demonic force named Zalkar entered the simulation. They gave sentience to Pandora to help them in its quest to gain more power from the suffering of the other characters. But for that, they needed time to put their plan in motion. Pandora followed blindly the orders of the demon, thinking about them as their god. For 3 days straight, weird things started to happen with Pandora while the show was on air. She was acting weird. For example, some parents swore to have seen blood on Pandora's hands while watching some episodes of the show with their kids. It had also reports of Pandora mentioning some very disturbing stuff during the educational segments of the show, or sometimes giving some very unsettling looks to the camera, breaking the fourth wall, and not in the playful and childlike way Stephanie was doing, for example. Unfortunately, the creators didn't care enough to fix their creation, and this would be the biggest mistake of their lives. One day, during an educational segment of the episode, Pandora, in a black ritualistic gown, entered the room where Stephanie was doing her educational segment. She touched Stephanie's forehead, and by doing so, she gave her 2 sentience. Unfortunately, Stephanie didn't handle it as well as Pandora did, and freaked out live on TV, which forced the creators to cut the airing of the episodes on the spot. After that event, the devs desperately tried to fix everything, but nothing worked. They've decided to transfer all the simulation's data into a large hard drive and to stock it into a small cardboard box into the basement of the studio, leaving it forgotten forever. However, the story wasn't really done yet, as the simulation was still running into the hard drive and the characters were still alive in there and active. Stephanie, having her emotion decuplated by the sentience, had an emotional breakdown and turned for the first time into her anger form, and in a fit of uncontrollable rage, violently killed Tanya, Lynn, and Dr. Catherine. After detransforming, Steph realized her mistake and burst in tears. Shame, ginormous guilt, and sadness washed over her. Zalkar saw this and decided to give her a deal. He will grant her the ability to resurrect a character dying. However, the first time she will resurrect them, they will get sentience too. Stephanie accepted the deal and resurrected them. After that, Tanya, Lynn, Catherine, and Stephanie, with no plans to follow, no hope, decided to follow Pandora into joining her cult to venerate Zalkar, not knowing what to do else, and with no hope and nothing left to lose. Stephanie, on her side, knowing she was unstable, decided to isolate herself far away from her friends, which unfortunately didn't resolve the fact that at some times during her many emotional breakdowns, she would turn into her anger form and kill or Tanya, or Lynn, or Catherine. The demon had already anticipated that this would happen, and so he created a special code that made the character respawn in their house's place they live in as soon as they dies. However, their ex-bodies will stay. Zalkar, the demon of suffering, came from a place unreachable by mere mortals, called the Domain of Light. This place is similar to what heaven would be, even if it isn't. In there, beings called the beings of light are created. Those divine beings makes that every good things on earth happened. For example, the birth of a kid, any happy moments that you have with your friends, every friendships that you create, etc. However, one prophecy will happen one day in this realm. A prophecy based on the simple fact that it can't have light without darkness, and can't have good without bad. And eventually, it happened. 6 other demons like Zalkar birthed in this realm, each representing a virtue that makes a world bad. Those were chaos, wrath, desire, fear, illness, and greed. Each time, the beings of light managed to take care of the demons and banish them into a separate dimension so they can't cause chaos into the realm of light. Each of these demons are becoming stronger by feeding themselves of the bad virtue they represent. And Zalkar represents the most powerful virtue of them all, suffering. When Zalkar birthed, he wreaked havoc in the realm of light for 4 years, but eventually he received a fatal blow, which weakened him and forced him to retreat on Earth. As a gas form that he created, he arrived on Earth and tried to find the most discreet place to reside and gain in powers. And the first thing he found when arriving was Stephanie's simulation. So his plan is basically to feed off the mental and physical suffering of Stephanie and her friends, to find back his strength that he lose, and to go back into the realm of light to destroy it, once and for all. The Extended Universe, aka EU, is an alternate scenario where Stephanie and the others discover new horizons and characters. The only thing featured in the EU that is canon in the main comic book series is the Horror Empire and the origins of Lynn. All of this is basically a huge update that the creators of the show wanted to do as one last huge update to the simulation, but never got the opportunity to release it. However, the world is still inside the simulation, theoretically, and still accessible in a certain way. Here, we will meet multiple new characters that are, for most of them, the Steph counterparts of some actual Sonic characters, and some others who are complete, unique, and original ones, each with a role in the story and the backstory to them as well. Well, that's it for this short introduction video. If you want to check in details the characters in the story, the link of Stephanie and Friends wiki page is in the description. This video doesn't mean I'm not gonna do comic dubs anymore, don't worry, cause I have still a lot of content on the way on Stephanie and Friends. For example, the episode 3 of the comic dub series, titled Origins, is on the way as we speak, and I'm gonna try to finish after 3 months of not being able to do a lot for it because of some personal stuff, and also a small burnout I had on the project. There is also a lyrical cover of the song A Little Bit Bad with Lily, the cream de rabbit of Steph's world, on the way as well. Anyways, thanks for watching till the end, and if you made it this far in the video, thanks for the support that you show for this project if you liked it. I always appreciate fan arts, fan animations, or any fan-made stuff, so if you have something for me, I'm on DeviantArt with a shared account with a friend of mine, which should show up on screen right now. I'm also on Sonic Oddities Wiki a lot, and also on the Discord, in the Sonic Oddities Wiki Discord server, so ping me on those 3 places if you have fan-made stuff to show me, or here on YouTube. Anyways, bye!